was walking around the neighborhood with my mom. She turned to me and said, Mike, don't you want to meet someone? I said, no, I want to meet everyone. Cause I won't waste another day living someone else's way. I want to be happy, I want to be free. Forget what they say, I'm doing me.
Starting normal recording.
State of the Adventure, July. England beat Sweden 2-0 day. On the boat, showing 32 degrees. Jesus. In England, yeah. So, from the last state of the adventure, we, as you know, we went across the proverbial meat. That's me and Sea Legs out there. Oh, hang on, let me just quickly show him to you. There he is, in cat camp. Because what I've done is I've put a muslin cloth. Can you see the muslin cloth? There you go. Look, all over the top, all the way around, over the top of the boat, because obviously it stops the direct sunlight, which keeps the temperature down, and other tricks that I'll go into later. I just want to show you him. So we went out to Fécamp. We made it out there, 65 miles across English Channel, across the shipping lanes. Awesome. Semi-solo because old Sea Legs was with us. Then we went to Le Havre and got battered on a force 10 in about 2:30 in the morning, and then you know the rest. We had to limp all the way back to Blighty, the UK that is, and we had to haul up for the winter, which has been fun. So I have been working since then with a company called Steamer Trading Company. And a load of fantastic people who have made working with them an absolute pleasure, in all the stores and at head office and at the warehouse and everybody associated with it. And they gave me a terrific send-off. It was absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much for being just such a great bunch of guys. And I wish you all the very best in the future. Their name, Steamer, will come up once or twice because I've got Steamer stuff on board, because it's good stuff. Yes, come and say hello. So, I've been working with these guys all through the winter until now, and then basically getting things prepared. So the situation is all the sails have been repaired. I went down to Brighton yesterday and I saw the sail repairers. They've got new batten cars, which is fantastic news because mine are absolutely garbage and keep catching. They've repaired the Jenny, they've repaired the main. All of it has been completely laundered, repaired, upgraded. It's going to be great when we get them back. Luckily, at the same time, I went to see Bob de Steele about the davits. So I'm getting the woods made at the moment, and we're going to do a stainless steel sandwich. Okay, I'll make a video about that. Not a problem. And my brother's helping me with that. Thank you very much. Because he's really good with wood and I'm garbage with wood. And the last thing is the engine, which has got to come out. And I saw my engine guy, Neil, who's going to come down in about a week or so. We're going to lift the engine out and he's going to refurb it for me. So we'll be back to twins and it will be fan-dabby-dozy. So, the winter's over. It's been bleak as hell on board, trying to keep warm, which wasn't too hard. But the condensation you create is a nightmare and it's horrid. Thank God that's gone now. Not nice living on a boat in the winter, but here we are. The summer's here. It's nice and warm, and this will be continue now until the crew arrive. I've got one of the crew members, Richard, arriving next week for a day and a sleepover. Because he's come here to check the boat out and everything, and hopefully he'll give it the thumbs up, and then he'll be back in mid-August. And then Chris, my other friend, the crew member, is arriving at the end of August, who's already been on board the boat. There's a video that I made with him last year, which is I've never edited and uploaded, where he did a masterclass with his lines, rope work, wonderful. I will get that done because it's a really good video. Excuse me, just a bit hot. So things are on track. Everything else now, really, I've got some other small jobs to do, which I'll video along the way. And then it's just a few upgrades. I want to do some power upgrades to do with the inverter. You'll see this when I do it because I'll video it. The rest of it is basically logistics. I have the car now. I have the motorcycle RT, who's just come back from BMW from all his repairs, and I was out all day yesterday. Absolutely wonderful having him back. So we'll be out tomorrow doing our advanced riding again. So all of this is logistics about having the bike shipped out there to Spain, the car, and then obviously we're shipping, excuse the pun, the boat out there. We're not shipping it. Weird. Yeah, you get the idea. Sailing the boat down there. So because I've got 3 vehicles basically, you know, according to my son, and all 3 of them I've got to get down to Spain to the marina. But everything's looking good. I'm really pleased. Need some cleaning to be done and some other bits and bobs, but that's the state of the adventure. We're on track. Less than 2 months to go, okay, and we'll be hauling out of here, okay, into the English Channel and put this baby to sea again, okay, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Are you taking a picture of me? Oh wait.
Oh no, it's a video because I was just going to start making a video about this fridge.
Are you filming now?
Yes.
Hello everyone. Where is this going, on your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Hello everyone. My name's Sasha and I work at the harbour. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. Everyone should come to Eastbourne. It's the best place to be. English just won the football. Who did we play? Sweden. Against Sweden. 2-0, smashed it. Come and visit Eastbourne.
That interlude there was Sasha from Premier Marina's office, who's looked after me for the past year and was here on day 1 when I arrived with bleeding knuckles. It's another story that I may have told. If I haven't, I will do. To do with midship cleats missing and solo sailing and docking, to be more precise, and yeah, blood. So the reason for this video is an add-on to the state of the adventure, and it's to do with expensive things on boats. For example, what we're going to be looking at now is my onboard fridge. Now, I did a load of research over a year, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, to do with everything on boats, which is why I bought what I bought. Okay. Now, when it came to fridges and freezers, I found that this manufacturer in Australia, called Engel, E-N-G-E-L, were just amazing, because these boxes go on the back of pickups and stuff out in the Australian outback, and they last like 25 years, and there's just nothing like it. So I bought a brand new chest freezer that can become a fridge as my freezer, and I managed to find a second-hand 61 litre fridge from a guy in Kent. I only paid about 90 quid for it, and I went and got it, and it's been working beautifully since. It's a proper upright one. I love it, but it suddenly stopped working. So after some investigation work, I found that there was some water in the 12-volt terminal block. I looked at the power board, couldn't see any damage, gave it a couple of tests best I could, contacted a specialist, which was hard to find, and they gave up the ghost and said, no, we were not even going to touch it. So I'm now resigned to the fact, I'm now resigned to the fact that I've got to buy a new fridge at between £600 and £800, which is not funny when I'm trying to have cars serviced and I've got to pay shipping costs and I've got a lot of logistical money to spend out, as well as other repairs, and I don't need this one, okay? And the fridge fits perfectly. So this is what this is all about. Get the thing out, okay? Get your screwdrivers out, obviously unplug everything so it's safe, and then have a very good deep look at what's going on. There's not a lot going on with these fridges. There's a power circuit board with a connection that comes off a wire to 240 volt. There's 1 to 12 volt. Then there's some wires that go onto the compressor. I'm looking at it, sorry. And the other sections of the refrigerator, but nothing more, okay? So I removed the power board completely, took it out of its casing, turned it upside down, and lo and behold, I found that the one of the circuits is burnt out, and one of the pieces, I call it a piece because I don't know anything, whether it's a relay or a resistor or something, I'm not into electronics, you can see is completely burnt out. Okay? But these are standard things, they can be replaced. It's not as though it has to go to Australia and they don't make these parts, they do. So now what I'm doing is, let me just switch around. I am repairing the rust on this radiator piece, okay? Because you can, if you look really closely, you can just see certain portions using an amazing thing called Curust. This production wasn't paid for by Curust, by the way, or Hammerite. It's just that I swear by this stuff because it's going to repair all of this with a 50p brush. And once this is all repaired, because I'm just taking that off, I'm going to turn it upside down so I can get to that piece. And the power board, he says with an edit. Let me bring the power board into the light and then you can see what the problem is. Look at that. You see? That completely burnt out. Mushed. And upside down, there, you can see, also burnt out. There where my finger is, and then down in that corner. But that is not a disaster. This is a quick update. As you can see, I have reassembled the power board and its cover, etc. in its casing box. I'm sorting out the new cable, this here, excuse me, which will attach to that terminal block, which will then be taped up with self-amalgamating tape as well. I'll put a link to something to do with that for people, anyone who doesn't know about self-amalgamating tape and other tapes, etc. And there's my little helper. You see, so we work here and he lays there, taking up all of the necessary space required for work. But we won't complain because he's actually being very effective. Because under here you can see some of the lights have actually they're broken, they're not working. It's because these were supposed to be waterproof and they're not, so condensation and humidity has got into them and trashed them. And there's one down there and there is 10 in a line, and we need light. So when we're working, what we can do is we can use him because he reflects light. And that's how I've just done the wiring, by using him as a tool. So, well, on a boat you use anything you can as a tool, including white cats. So I'm just about to finish that off. I won't tape it up until the end, and then we'll do our test tomorrow. Okay, I thought I would do a little continuation. Excuse the lack of light because it is getting quite dark now. But as you can see, I am standing down in the starboard hull. That is my cabin there. My bed, ready for me. Curtains, etc. See, it's very, very cozy. All my clothes, etc., etc. This is the library. I need to do a full walkthrough, don't I? So from down here, that's the TV, etc. The galley over there, saloon, yada, yada, yada. But what I wanted to show you is this is the tool station down here. So this is my full toolkit. I'll do like a walkthrough at some point, etc. So we are looking for, is this wiggling? Yes, okay. Today we had 2 jobs to do, well 3. One was a bit of washing, that's the remnants of it. Using the washing machine is £5 a wash, about £2.50 for drying, £7.50 a pop. Think about that. If you're doing that weekly, you're doing that bi-weekly, it's expensive. I've got a small device that I bought. I'll make another video on that. Basically, it's like a stupid little hand American washing machine, but it's brilliant. And I've got all the drying room in the world, completely free. So they don't really like you hanging your washing out in the marina, but all the foreigners are here at the moment, bless them, and they're all doing it, so I'm jumping on the bandwagon and saving myself a fortune. So that was job number 1. Job number 2 was to flush out the water system completely, because it was starting to smell of sulphur. Let me get back down here because the wind is a bit bad. What happens is that bacteria builds up in the heating system, especially in the water heater and other parts of the water system, because it's a hot and cold water system on board. Hopefully the wind is not making that go bad on the video. I apologise if it is. So yearly you have to use some good stuff to clean it all out. Okay, I use a product called PuriClean, which is fantastic, made in the UK. So I've spent all day doing that. You put it in, you leave it in the system for hours and hours and hours, and you flush it all out. So we nearly finished that, which will be lovely. And the third thing was our lagoon table. Lagoon, L-A-G-U-N. It's made in Sweden. And basically that's the table that goes there. And as you can see, there is the mount that it goes on. But I have a secondary mount out here for outdoor living. But the problem is, this other one is missing off of there. And they'd used, previous owners had used that, and it doesn't work. And I've tried to get a couple of new ones, and it's going to cost a lot of money just to get a couple of them. I only need one, but you can only buy them in pairs. You have to pay like £8 courier charge. It's ridiculous, because I can only ever find one dealer online that will send it. But I had this bit of pipe, which I've been using in my dinghy, and I thought it just looked right. And lo and behold, I did that, and look at that. So now I did a quick test on this end. I think I did. Look at that. Look at that. Sorry. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Completely free of charge. We'll just yop that off with Mr. Hacksaw. And job done. So that's the 3 jobs for the day, and I'm looking forward to a shower, which we do have on board. As you can see, we have a shower here, hidden on board. Okay, and there is the shower head up there, and the way it works is that you close the door. Close the door. Get off. I'll have to do a proper video of this, and you put that up there, and jobs are good. And this is a hot and cold shower that I designed and installed last year. I'll do a proper video on that. So come back to you when I'm clean and fed. Is that wonky? Now, I thought I'd grab the camera really quickly, because if we spin round, I'm standing in the galley, you see, sink, blah blah blah, because it's a galley on a boat ship, not a kitchen. And there is Mr. Mav. Now the reason Mr. Mav is there is that if we see that big flag there behind that boat, some French guys have just turned up, a couple, and they have a cat on board called Garfield. It's huge, I think it's on a lead. A big ginger, but not perfectly ginger, but beautiful looking cat. Because I was standing outside and she made like the chichi noise, okay, and I thought she was having a go at my cat. I thought he'd jumped on her boat, and I looked at her and she said about a cat that had gone on this boat next door, and I said, your cat or my cat? And she said, my cat. And I said, oh. And then she said, his name's Garfield. And I said, there's Maverick. And he was laying right next to me, but in camouflage, couldn't see him, on the rear deck. So I'm waiting for them to sort of get introduced, because it'll be nice for him to have a friend. Hopefully they don't fight or anything and become a disaster. But he seems quite chilled, and I'm looking forward to meeting Mr. Garfield. So that's the current news. The clouds finally are here, so it's starting to cool down. That's my dinner. which we will now squish around a bit, and then we'll grill him on that, because this microwave is a everything microwave. I'll go through this in the boat tour that I'm doing very, very shortly. So, and I'm going to have my dinner outside, because you can see I've moved the table. So now we have a huge saloon, but it's really hot and it's summer, so I should be eating outside. So I'm going to go and eat outside. So after I've done that, I may come back and see you. To give you an update of the fridge situation, I bought a new fridge, but I decided that most of the time I'm on shore power. So you'll find me laughing all the time, because this happens. It goes upside down and makes me laugh. So back to it. I realised that most of the time I'm on shore power, which is 240 volt. So instead of spending 700 odd pounds on a 12 volt fridge, I spent 108 pounds on a 240 volt fridge that can be plugged into our inverter on board, or when on passage we can switch over to the other Engel unit, which is our current freezer, which is also a fridge when you turn it down to number 1. Let me show you. So down here now is the new fridge, 66 litre, absolutely wonderful, on 240 volt. And in the utility room next to it, there's the Engel freezer, which can be turned down to make a fridge when we're on passage. And it fitted perfectly with the microwave, so we are very happy about that. That's too funny for words. Look, he's got his little toy with him and everything. Bless. So the last thing to finish this video is I've got about 6 months of video footage from last year, right the way through the summer when I was refitting the entire boat. I'm going to show you a couple of snippets of what's to come. Yes, it's like a year out of sequence, but it's worth seeing in the end, and I'll be putting these in as we go along with the adventure. So thanks very much for watching. Thank you for all my subscribers. I've got about 120 now, which is really a great compliment. I really appreciate it. Apologies for the delay in uploading the latest video. I'm now gonna have a word with myself and get these videos uploaded on a regular basis so you guys can see them. So thanks very much. Thank you for your comments as well. Really appreciate those, and I look forward to seeing you soon.